Hey guys, welcome back. So I wanted to just do a quick little video about things that nobody tells you happen when you have bariatric surgery. So as you all know, I have had gastric sleeve. You can Google and you can do all the research you want, but until you physically go through it, you will never really understand the little things and the big things that happen to you physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, even for some people when you have surgery like this. It is literally life-changing. I had a discussion with my dad yesterday about the fact that I needed to have this surgery done or I was going to die. And he looked at me and he said, "You were going to have a stroke." And he was right. I was going to have a stroke. My blood pressure was so high from being so overweight. I was diabetic. I could hardly tie my shoes. It was bad. It was really bad. But I just wanted to quickly talk about some of the things that, happen. Some of them are funny. Some of them are not at all so funny. Case in point, everybody's telling me how great I look, but it has been mentally a hard thing to overcome. I have always thought I was pretty. That's never really been the issue, but my size has always really affected me. When I was younger, I was thinner, and it was never a problem. And then as I started to gain weight, I became more and more self-conscious. And I noticed my anxiety just grew and grew, and walking into a place was hard for me. Going into the grocery store was hard for me. And a lot of that stemmed from the way I looked, from my size. So while everybody's telling me, "Wow, you look amazing, you look so good," that's our security cameras going off, sorry about that. I look at myself in the mirror and I still see something that I don't want to see. My body has shifted and changed a whole lot. I had double D breast before this surgery. I did. Big boobs. I've always had pretty big boobs. I have lost close to 75, 80 pounds in a very short period of time, and I now am rocking a solid B cup. That has been really weird to look down and not see giant breast. It has been very odd. I look at my clothes and I'm like, oh, where are my boobs? They're not even there anymore. My weight has now shifted. A lot of my weight has come from here down now, so I'm slimmer in my shoulders and in my chest and in my upper stomach, but now it's all lower. And now when I look at myself in the mirror naked, all I see is this largeness at the bottom, and it's very upsetting and very emotional. So it's one of those things that doesn't fix your self-esteem. It doesn't. I didn't think it was going to, but I didn't think that it would have the opposite effect on me. So it is something that I'm still working through. And it will be something that I work through probably for a very long time. And that's okay. I knew going into it, this was going to change me. I just didn't know how. Another thing that no one tells you is your poops become different. I have never in my life until the surgery dealt with constipation, and I went 2 weeks without having a BM. And if you've ever had constipation, you know how horrible it is. Now imagine going 2 weeks without having any type of BM. I was screaming, crying, trying to go to the bathroom. I had to go to the hospital. And let me tell you, they were not kind. She didn't buy me dinner, nothing. We got intimate real quick. It was horrible. Called my mom at like 4 a.m, sobbing hysterically. I have no idea what she was going to do to help me. She had no idea, but I just needed my mom. Not going to lie. So that has been kind of an issue. Come to find out, I was taking too much iron, so we've had to kind of scale that back in my vitamin regimen and kind of fix that. It happens. It's one of those things. You don't know what something you've never done before is going to do until you do it, and then you just kind of fix it and, equal it out. I also didn't know that I would be so dehydrated right after surgery. You can't have anything to drink the night before you have your surgery and then leading up to your surgery. So I hadn't had anything to drink in close to 24 hours and I was dying of thirst. You can literally only hold an ounce of liquid after surgery, but they expect you to get some crazy amount of liquid, like amount of ounces in before you're released, but you can hardly get anything down. And I kind of started off on the low end. You've already gone without it, and now you're starting kind of not being able to get get enough. I can no longer chug water. You know, when you get really thirsty, your first thought is to grab water and chug it and slam it back. I can't do that anymore. My stomach cannot handle that much water at one time. So I ended up getting really dehydrated, having to go and have bags of fluid, and ended up getting a urinary tract infection. I was like peeing blood. It was that bad. Was not prepared for it. Apparently it's pretty normal, but it was scary. I've had UTIs in the past, but I'd never had one this bad where my back was just on fire and I was like terrified to go to the bathroom. I was so afraid to pee because I knew it was going to hurt so bad. It was just one of those things. They also tell you you'll have gas pain, and they're like, it's going to feel like you're having a heart attack because you have a lot of pressure in your shoulders and in your chest, but it's just the gas that they fill you up with. So whenever you have your surgery, you have 5 incisions, and they basically blow you up and pull out a portion of your stomach. So you were filled with gas. I knew it was going to hurt, but I didn't realize it would hurt that bad. Where like for 4 days, the only thing that made me feel better was to get up and walk around. So we were fortunate enough that we lived close to a really nice park. So I was able to walk down to the park and kind of walk around. I walked around our house a lot. We kind of had like a circle in our house. I was able to walk around. And then my stay at the hotel after surgery, I walked up and down the halls literally all night. And I also kind of would get comfortable and be able to use a heating pad to kind of help lessen that pressure from that gas. And everybody kept saying things like, oh, just fart or burp. It's not that gas. It's not in your guts. It's like trapped in your body and it's moving. It's moving into your shoulders. It's moving into your back. I had the most intense shoulder and upper back pain when that gas traveled to that area. And then one day I woke up and it was just gone. So, you know, that's definitely a thing. I know I've talked about my hair falling out. Again, I knew that was coming. I didn't realize it was going to be so intense. And I know it sounds so stupid to be so upset. It's hair. There are people who are losing their hair for way worse reasons than I am. But it's been hard. I know it'll grow back. Carb crash. That is a real thing. You always hear all these like crazy health nuts talking about carb crashing. I didn't realize how hard you can really crash on carbs. Look, I try to eat high protein every meal. We do very little carbs. We don't eat bread anymore. We don't eat pasta anymore. We just, have altered our diet almost to be a keto style diet. But look, I'm a woman. Once a month, I need some chocolate. I do. And the other day, I ate one of my son's cosmic brownies, like the little Debbie brownies with the sprinkles on them. And I crashed out so hard. I ended up falling asleep. Like it was that intense. I just couldn't keep my eyes open. I was like, am I drunk? What is happening? Carb crash is real. It is so incredibly real. It makes you understand why you have to change your way of eating and your way of thinking about food. I don't eat tortillas anymore. I don't eat pancakes. I don't eat waffles. I hardly ever eat pizza. And when I do eat pizza, I usually scrape the toppings off of it and I'm just eating cheese and pepperoni. But again, I get cravings during them PMS times and I want carb. There are days where I wish I could just shovel a plate of spaghetti into my face, but I know the end result would be really bad. I also cannot tolerate fast food anymore. I wanted Arby's the other day. So at Arby's, this is really cool. Any of their sandwiches, you can get them without the bun and they basically just put it in a bowl for you. So I was like, great, I want a roast beef and cheddar sandwich from Arby's, but I just want the roast beef and cheddar. Made me so sick. I ended up puking. And that happens a lot. I'm still learning. Old Kelly still takes control a lot and wants to eat junk, and it makes me sick. It physically makes me sick. I wasn't prepared for the trauma that my body was going to go through. And it is traumatic. They have removed 80% of my stomach. The day before they do that, I had a scope shoved down my throat to make sure that I didn't have any hernias or anything. And then I have a major surgery. I had a massive bruising all over my stomach. Now, I will say my incisions are actually really small and not really noticeable, but I wasn't prepared for what my belly was going to look like afterward. I was really bloated again from the gas that they fill you with, and then I had all of these bruisings from the trauma of them having the surgery. I'd had a front row seat to it when my husband had his done, but he is far stronger than I will ever be. And he never complained. He never complained about it. He just, like the rock that he is, went on through it like a champion. And I have cried and moaned about it the whole time. It just, it just didn't prepare myself for it like I should have, I think. I will never say that it wasn't something that needed to be done, though. It was something that had to be done, or I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. Again, I was going to die. So it was something that had to be done. But it's just the little things that you take for granted that you don't think about. Like even something as small as like going to get an ice cream cone. I really have to think about that. Do I want to eat that ice cream cone and risk carb crashing or being sick to my stomach? Or do I want to just go and do it because it's something my son wants and something I promised him I'd treat him to? So a lot of times my husband and I will just share something, and then usually neither one of us can even finish it. So, it's just one of those things. I encourage you that if bariatric surgery is the path that you're going to take, that you do your research. Research your doctor, research your hospital, research your team, because you need a bomb team standing behind you. I have a great team standing behind me. I also have great family support and great friend support. Everybody has cheered me on so wonderfully, and I'm so grateful. From my parents and my husband and my son to my sisters and my best friend, and then all my coworkers and friends, everybody has just really cheered me on. But unfortunately, they don't understand what it feels like because they haven't done it. So you have to know those people to talk to. I also am part of a group on Facebook with other recipients of bariatric surgery, and just seeing them like a year out and how awesome they've, done and how far they've gotten. There's even people that are like 10 years out in this group and they're still rocking it and still living this healthy lifestyle. It is really a mindset that you have to change. And I had to change my mind to change my body. And it was 100% worth it. So anyway, I hope you guys come back. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any suggestions on topics or anything, or any questions you'd like to ask me, please feel free to ask me. I will respond to you, and we'll see you.